Hello. So it's the last week. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Claudia and myself, Empowered RN, and Claudia, who is our LinkedIn and business strategist. I feel a bit bittersweet. It's going to be the last. It's the last live, and I'm excited, but it's going to be the last one for the month of June. How are you
Yeah.
feeling, Claudia? How is it?
I'm good. I think it's been so much fun. Yeah, it's been great to speak to your audience and to my audience because we're both streaming live on both of our
Yes.
channels. And so, yeah, it's been really fun and just hanging out with the girls.
Yeah.
And the guys. Hi guys, if you're
Yes.
there. But yeah, it's been good.
Yes, it has definitely been good for those who have watched, and myself, I have definitely learned a lot, and I think we have learned from each other, and I'm really happy for this live right here. Welcome to everyone that is tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're from on Claudia's YouTube page or my YouTube page, we're both live. So shout out to all our subscribers. Remember to type in the chat if you have anything you want to talk about, any comment, any question. How has this live been? Have you learned something from it? Have you challenged? Have you placed any of these nuggets that we talked about into your business, or you're planning to start a business and placed it in same? So this live have been centered on booking more clients, the Solar Entrepreneurs Client Magnet series. Starting a business isn't easy. Getting clients isn't easy, and staying consistent isn't
Yeah.
easy. But we had some nuggets here from Claudia Garcia and myself, who shared how we can keep clients and book more clients. So, starting out, the first week, you remember with Claudia, we spoke about how to make them stay. You got those clients, how do we make them stay? And we learned a lot from that, how to keep customers retention and the strategies that we can use. Then we touched on also DMs. I enjoyed that one, really good. We talked about LinkedIn, and you're our LinkedIn and business strategist. Any highlights? You had your workshop yesterday for healthcare professionals. Any highlights from that?
Yeah, so I did a LinkedIn workshop on just how to set up your profile, and
Mhm.
I included 10 steps that are super important when it comes to attracting clients and employers on LinkedIn, right? So I just went through 10 steps, 10 sections of your profile, and I touched on a lot of things that people don't really know.
I think probably Claudia pause a bit. I'll wait for Claudia to come in. I'm not sure if you're hearing me, Claudia, but your screen, I think, froze. Let's try to get her back in. You're back. Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
weird. So I don't know where I left off, but anyways, it was a good one. We
Mhm.
had about 50 show up last night, and so
Yes.
yeah, it was a successful workshop. And we went live on Zoom in the morning and live on YouTube at night. So it's actually still running. I'm going to leave it up for about 24 hours for those that registered and couldn't, get on there. So it's wide open to anybody that wants to watch it right now. And then we'll take it down and we'll do a new one in a couple of weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, very good. I'm actually going to finish tuning in. So anybody that has not tuned in, we can head over to Claudia's YouTube page and finish watching that. And I like how you speak a lot about LinkedIn. I strongly believe in that platform. Every professional, should be literally on that platform, and also entrepreneur for increasing their business and also getting more clients. And that's something that we also touched on recently. And I also remembered, I don't know if she's tuning in right here. I remember, I think one was my followers that tuned in, that she's going to start posting more on LinkedIn. And I actually saw
Good.
her do it.
Oh,
So,
yay.
yes, she does a lot of work in Canva. And I'm not remembering her name, but I know and your face is right before me right now, but I'm not remembering your.
Yeah, so it's really fun when I speak to people who have never been on LinkedIn, but
Right.
they have influence already on other
Right.
platforms, right? On YouTube or
Mhm.
on Instagram or on Facebook. And I'm like, especially those in healthcare. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not on LinkedIn?
Yes.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, I'm kind of scared. I don't know what to do there. Like, isn't it just to get a job? And I'm like, no, it's not just to get a job, although it's a
Mhm.
great place to get a job. But yeah, so I encourage them to get on. And then I tell them, like, if you're already doing it
Mhm.
on other platforms, like when you get on LinkedIn, it's not going to be hard. It
Right.
literally is a social platform. Yeah, there are different rules to the game, but at the same time, I sort of feel like LinkedIn is now becoming a little bit more relaxed in the way that people are posting. I feel like the topics are still sort of the same, right? So authority, branding, career focus, because that's really what the platform wants to push. They want
Mhm.
to push just
Yes, pretty much.
business and career, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you're posting about that stuff on other platforms already,
Mhm.
did you just
We're
sneeze?
good.
God bless you. God bless you. um, and
Yeah.
so, yeah, so if you're already posted on other platforms, you bring it on over to LinkedIn, and
Mhm.
yeah, you're gonna see yourself, blow up. And not blow up meaning like become an
Mhm.
influencer necessarily, but if you already have a following, they're gonna find you on there, and you're gonna also find a whole new group of people that are going to
I think you're
like your content.
going
Can you hear me now?
your internet. I
Ah,
think I hear
sorry.
much what you're saying. Yeah. But we're good now. I remember, yes, you were speaking about
Okay. It says,
LinkedIn and also establishing your hearing
yeah,
me.
I was just saying that if they're already, yeah, I could hear you fine.
Okay. With
I
our
could
connectivity.
Here, let me jump out and jump back in, maybe. Let me do that real quick.
Right. Yeah. You could try that. Glitch, we're just figuring out our connectivity right now. Let's wait until.
All right.
All right. Good.
Yeah, it says 10 out of 10. So at the bottom you can actually see your connection. It says connection 10 out of 10. So I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening.
I'm not sure. Probably it's a heat wave.
So just so you guys know, we use Restream for these live events. So if you guys are wondering,
Yeah.
like, how are they doing that? And you are able to stream onto all platforms. I mean, you can stream to Instagram, to Facebook, to your LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
and then on each other's YouTube channels. So if you've ever thought about doing a collaboration, a live collaboration, we're both on Restream. We enjoy it. I know there are other platforms like StreamYard that people like.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this one's been working.
This one has been working pretty good. I definitely literally would recommend Restream.
Yeah.
But our connectivity keeps tripping in and out, but we're gonna still go. So everything is good now. So we were touching on LinkedIn, and I like you made mention of utilizing LinkedIn, and that many of us are actually doing the job already, and we just need to establish that presence, visibility. And I also like the fact when you go on LinkedIn, when you start like posting about the area or the niche that you're in, you're establishing yourself as a little expert in that area. And a lot of people will see your page, reach out to you, whether it's recruiters or just anyone that just wants to partner, and not to mention making lasting connections and connections that can actually set you up for the future. You never know where that person is going to land you and that room where that person is going to put you in. And that's where we met each other through LinkedIn. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. LinkedIn and YouTube, right? Because I think,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So then there's that, right? You see
Mhm.
somebody on YouTube. Actually, this is funny that you mentioned that, but I've had several people come into my DMs on LinkedIn and say, "Hey, I found you on YouTube." So
Wow.
it's like they're working together in my favor, right?
Yes.
So that's what you want. You guys want them to see you on multiple platforms, where you're building some solid trust because they're listening to you. And I always say, like, people can tell if you're faking it. So
Mhm.
in the world that we're about to enter with AI, and I talk about this all the time, it's going to be so important for people to be able to tell that you're real. That
Yes.
you're a real person, that they didn't like, now you can clone yourself, right? You can put yourself into a AI platform. It can
Mhm.
write the script, it can do everything for you, and then you can blast it on your channels, and some people won't know. So they're going to be looking for this, like, these clues of, like, is this a real human? Is this a real person? What can I learn from them? So I think people are even going to end up getting real hungry for that authentic, real human touch, right? Well, as much as we
Yeah.
can touch each other from the internet, but it's going to be interesting, the world we're
Yeah.
about to go into. But anyways, I know you wanted to talk about the client blueprint, and for those of you that are here that want to know,
Mhm.
how is it that what do we do? Like, y'all talk a lot, but what do you do?
We
All
do
right.
good talking. Good talking.
Yeah, yeah. So let's start. Ava, why don't we start with you, and you tell us exactly how your patient, or not patient, you're not at
Yes.
work right now. How your client flow, how the journey goes. Like, what do you do from the point that you get first of all, how do you get a client? And
Mhm.
then what are the next steps?
Right. So as you can see, Empower and Nurse Mentor. So I mentor nurses all across the world that actually want opportunities for in other countries, or just want to grow their experience and their career. So my clients, or the nurses, are going to be my clients. So I try to show up where I can find them, where they're popular. So you have them on social media. Also have to look at the age range too. There are different age ranges, and I use that with YouTube, and that's why I love YouTube, especially when it comes on to analytics. You can actually see the age group of the persons who are listening to you, and you can actually see the different countries that are watching you, and that's something that I look at. So if I see a particular country looking, watching my videos, I also try to find what's happening in those countries and what are their needs. So with those nurses, we help them to transition to various places, and that's how I find them on social media, and provide opportunities for them, provide news for them, because they're going to a different country. They need to know what's happening in that country. We do one-on-one coaching, and we stay up to date with them, giving that personal touch, reaching out to see where you are, looking at regulations and licensing too. Not many nurses know about that, and that's pretty important. I think I'm actually working with a nurse who wants to go to a different country, reached out to me, and I do have, based on being on such a broad platform, have contacts in various countries, and we collaborate with each other, and we just say, hey, this is the best move that you can make right now. So that's my client blueprint, and I love being a nurse. Actually helps because you're working with your fellow coworker, so you speak the same language, but that touch that I normally use once somebody reaches out to me, whether it's a DM or anything, I try to reach out back to every single person. I know I can't help everybody, but I just like giving that information. And funny to know, a lot of the nurses or even family members reach out to me asking for help for their family members.
Oh, wow.
And when they reach out, they literally say, I didn't know that you would respond to me. And I'm like, you're my client. You're my target. So, not faking it or anything, that authenticity, I try to give that. And if I can't help you, I'm going to pass you on and recommend you to somebody else. So, my areas where I normally show up, I say all over, but I have to make sure the content matches the platform. I can't post most of what I post on LinkedIn onto TikTok. Some can be repurposed from YouTube to TikTok too. But I have to pay attention to the algorithm, what's trending, and all of that, and make my content around that. And that's how persons reach out to me. Actually, when I started this, I was a little bit hesitant of where this will go. Couple people reached out to me and said, hey, you're going somewhere with this, keep going. And I found myself like literally realizing that you're becoming like an expert in this area, because once somebody says international nurse to me, any specific country, I literally can give you information on that. And that comes from me being online, and my clients help me too. How do they help me? Sometimes they reach out to me and say, have you seen this news? So they keep me on my toes, and that helps. And I love helping my nurses and other non-healthcare professionals who actually reach out to me. But one thing I can say, being consistent, being consistent is very important. You have to stay
Yeah.
present. Can't
Yeah.
drop the ball. Sometimes it does get busy, but I have to constantly show up and keep up with what's out there, especially right now with some nurses concerned about visa retrogression. Many persons don't understand that immigration that is taking place. So I have to be on the ball with that. But it's exciting, passionate about it, and I love the fact that I'm working with persons, and I love the persons that I'm working with and helping them also. But it's a journey. I didn't know everything from first. I didn't know how to use YouTube nor how to use TikTok. I had LinkedIn, and I literally restarted posting, and then I realized that more nurses kept reaching out to me, and that's how I continued to start. I had to teach myself, and I'm sure some entrepreneurs, that's what we had to do, and we're here still going. And we met persons along the way like you, Claudia, who helped us in some shape or form.
Yeah, I'm still not on TikTok. During the pandemic, TikTok, got really big, and my husband and I did like a viral dance, and then we turned it off. We were like, this isn't like, it was fun. It was cute and fun. And, but we were like, yeah, it's very addicting, and I don't have, so I just, I try to avoid that mindless scroll. And I don't know what it is with TikTok, but if you have it on your phone, you're going to be looking at stuff for no apparent reason. So, So, anyways, so one of the things I wanted to actually touch on what you just said about having to choose your content or change it for each platform. This is really true. However, I do believe that you can stay on topic, right? So if you chose a topic for that week, then you can change the actual format for each post to fit whatever platform you're using.
Right.
But you can stay on topic, which helps a lot, right? So picking and choosing your topics, and then taking them across all of the different social platforms. So, but anyways, you have some exciting stuff happening, and I love that you have been able to capture a global audience. I mean, not many people can do that. And so you also have a global offering per se. Like you have something that, because you're an expert now, not just in like the US or where you're from originally, what country did you say?
Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah. And so, but the rules and laws in Canada and in other countries, right? So in the Philippines, and like what is required for them to come on over here, or to go to Canada, or to go to, or for Canadian nurses to go to the UK.
Right.
So there's all of that. So you really have this amazing, well-rounded expertise. And it comes from not just you doing the research but you've actually lived it. So it's a lived experience that you can tell people about, right? How scary is it to take a job and go into an entire new country, right? And then if they have you as the mentor and a coach, then they can be at ease or peace because they got somebody in their corner. So that's super cool. So since we're talking about that like client journey, so you told us a little bit about how you get them, what you offer them in regards to mentorship. And then what happens with like, what's like the next step, or what does that look like? Is it a one-on-one call with you? Do they stay with you for a monthly membership, or are you putting them into a community, or do you have anything exciting coming up?
Yeah. So once they meet with me, we do one-on-one calls, there's free consultation to see where they're at and just make sure that we're on the same page. I have a community, recommend them to our YouTube page, and a community where they can reach out to me whenever they have a personal need or anything, because those time differences can really mess things up. So, one thing that we stay up to date with is Telegram, and we stay on the ball and just keep on working with them. We do have membership programs, and I have something exciting coming up. We're working on a webinar that is coming coming up where we are hosting for our international nurses, and we're getting some key players from different countries to come in and speak. And that's the thing, that when you can work with them, you hear the needs that they have, and then you can tailor stuff to them. So it's really exciting, and it keeps you on the ball too. You know, recently I was just following up with somebody and say, hey, I have an interview coming up. And I said, yes, good job. And we do offer support in like, how can you, you know, set yourself up for success in interviewing and the possible questions that they can ask.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yes.
So your community, where do they find that? Or is that they're invited into that once they've had a call with you?
Yes, they're automatically invited into that once they have a call. And you know, they are already subscribed to you and following you online. But if they want personal support or just reaching out to ask questions, we do emails, and then we keep them on board with our different groups that we have on Telegram and also YouTube.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay.
Yes.
So there's a Telegram chat going on. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
Yes.
So, well, I'll share. We're almost on time. Like this
Yeah.
30 minutes went really fast, but so I'll just share a little bit about my patient.
Yes.
My patient. There we go. Patient
I
flow.
tell you that you need to become a nurse. You have
Well,
it.
I consult doctors, so I talk about patient flow a lot.
Yes.
So with me, my clients are, I have different types of clients, but we'll just talk
Mhm.
about the LinkedIn clients. Those are usually healthcare professionals looking to grow their professional brand on LinkedIn. And so I help them, you know, learn the platform first of all, and then really come up with a strategy on what they're doing there, right? Because
Right.
it's one thing to just show up and post, but it's a whole other thing to have a strategy for your business. And so we talk a little bit about marketing. We come up with a marketing plan, and then and then we get LinkedIn working for them,
Mhm.
and helping them bring inbound leads. So we want people knocking on your door, so you're not constantly, you know, chasing people. And so
Right.
that's the goal with the LinkedIn coaching and strategy. So if you guys need help with it and you want to work with me, I'm going to leave my link below. And I also have some great content on YouTube, so you can watch that and learn how to use LinkedIn for yourself.
Yeah. But one question I'd like to ask you though, how was it when you just first started on like any platform that you started on? Because I can say before, it was very fearful for me, and it does get overwhelming sometimes. How do you how were you able to manage that or overcome any fears
Yeah, so
that you
it's
have?
yeah, so it's first of all knowing that I never got on the platform to become an influencer or
Mhm.
to go viral. I have one objective, and that's to get clients.
Yeah.
And so when you can focus on sort of like the strategy, the marketing strategy for that versus trying to get viral, I don't need it, you know, millions
Mhm.
of views, because millions of people aren't going to necessarily want LinkedIn coaching, right? So I
Mhm.
want those people that want LinkedIn coaching. And also, actually, my niche is healthcare, right? So because I've been in healthcare for almost 20 years, I speak the language of those folks that are selling services and rendering services within healthcare.
Right.
So providers, nurse practitioners, you know, a specialist, right? So yeah, so anyway, so it was in the beginning, it was sort of you know, scary to post. It was never
Mhm.
scary to DM, but
Mhm.
it was scary to post. Meaning that I was like, am I doing this right? And is anyone going to care? And it sort of becomes that thing, like, you know, when people unsubscribe from your email list, it's actually not a bad thing.
Right.
Because that means that person is not your customer. You don't want them on your list,
Yes.
right? It's the same thing with LinkedIn. I get new followers every single day. And what I look at is, are they the right followers? Are they people in healthcare? Are they people that have a business? Are they people that are trying to, you know, do what I'm offering? Right. So
Yes.
I look at all of that, and then that's what I find, that's how I gauge my success on LinkedIn. I don't gauge it by vanity metrics,
Right.
by likes, and yeah, and I don't have any viral posts. I'm like the first to admit it. And if that's your goal, I mean, if that's what you want to do, then I'm probably not the coach for you. But if you want to brand yourself as an expert and get inbound leads and know how to do outbound lead gen, then I am your girl, right? So
Yes.
I've landed multiple seven figures in contracts on LinkedIn. So it's not like it comes like from experience, not necessarily just from watching videos or hearing things. It's like I have the real life experience and I could just share that with you. It's yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how I got over it. That's how I got over like being afraid and just going like, I have the experience. Like
Yes.
just because
Especially with health providers too, as nurses too, you already have the experience, you have
yeah,
lived it, and whatever you're talking about or posting about, you know it. So I think you'll have a bit fear sometimes of like what will people say, what people think, but at the end
yeah,
of the day, you have to know your clients as you spoke about and the target too. Just from
yeah,
experience with regards to me, when I post online, I make sure to understand what are my nurses in need of right now. Last time I
yeah.
think I made a post speaking about visa retrogression. That's a big thing everybody's concerned about. So once you know who you're talking to and who the message is for, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then don't worry about anything else because I
Yes.
mean for me it was also knowing who my network is, right? So
Mhm.
because I have a staffing agency, that's one of my businesses, I have a
Mhm.
lot of candidates on there that work. They're not all business owners, right?
Right.
So if I have, half of my network are folks that are working, they're not necessarily on there all day long
Mhm.
liking posts, right?
Yes,
They're
you're right.
working, right? So you also have to know like, and also it's important that people understand LinkedIn, and LinkedIn only shoots your posts to about, I think, 1 to 5% of your followers.
Mhm.
So yeah, so there's just knowing the platform so you're not like you don't feel bad.
Yeah.
And then knowing your audience and who's in your network. So have
Yes.
like real expectations, but the thing I say is just post, engage, comment on other people's um, you know, uh posts and just be visible.
Yes.
And
I
then
made
don't worry
last.
about anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was adding to make lasting connections. You know, when you
Mhm.
engage, be authentic, and also try to reach out to persons that you even spoke about too, that you see that will be good for your network, and make
Mhm.
what you say lasting connections with them. Send them like a personal message. They may not answer, but at least they see it. But engage with those
Yeah.
persons, and that actually helps too.
And you'll be surprised how many do answer, right? I mean, it is sort
Yeah.
of a numbers game because, for every 25 DMs you might send out, maybe one
Mhm.
or two will respond to you, and that's okay.
Right.
Again, people are busy. They may not be on the platform. I sometimes get responses from people I messaged months ago, and I'm like, they respond to me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, look up, and I'm like, oh, I sent them a message like 6 months ago, and they're barely getting the message. It's because they're not on the platform and they're not
Right.
active. So there's actually a way to see who's active on the platform, and those are the people you want to really reach out to.
Mhm.
And so if you look at, and I have Sales Navigator, it's a premium account, but yeah, I don't know if LinkedIn regular, like the non-paid account, shows you this, but mine will show me recently posted, and then I'm able to click on that and then look at their activity. Also, will tell you like hasn't been active in over 90 days. Like I'm not trying to connect with these people because they're not there, right? So
Right.
this doesn't really help anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to look for their recent activity to make sure they're actually going to engage with you.
Yes. And what about like consistency? We talk about a strategy, making sure you show up, but consistency is key. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. So this is another thing about letting go of what everyone says about like, so consistency has to be doable, right?
Mhm.
It's got to fit with your lifestyle. So if it's not realistic for you to post 7 days a week, don't.
Yeah.
Bottom line, like just don't. Because what happens is you stress yourself out, you resent the platform and resent the work, and then you end up quitting. So then
Yeah.
you put in all that work. So for me, I was doing 5 days a week posting, And some days I'm just not inspired to post. Some days I just want to go in there, engage with my network, but I don't necessarily have anything to say at that. And I took the pressure off myself. So now I post, 3 to 5 times a day. And
Hmm.
I mean, I do have like, I try to post early in the morning because that's when you should post early. But and then I've been doing the whole reposting. So some of the LinkedIn influencers will say repost your post in the evening, so you capture that other time zone.
Hmm.
So I do that. But yeah, I don't stress myself out anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that because I'm on YouTube, it kind of alleviates the constant pressure of LinkedIn, right? So
Hmm.
LinkedIn is like is my place, but
Wow.
YouTube has also become my place. So YouTube's the content stays on there forever. And so I'm able to build trust both, on both platforms. And the pressure is just, I don't know. I just don't have that pressure. I don't put that pressure on myself anymore.
Yeah, likewise myself too. I try not to put the pressure on myself. I do try to have a strategy, but if I'm
Yeah.
just not able to make it, like for one day, I know I'm going to show up somehow, some way. But having that constant pressure sometimes causes you to quit too when you're not able to
Mhm.
meet those deadlines. But things come up. Many persons have families, you have other things that you're dealing with, and just try to prioritize which one should you deal with first. And I think that works for me also.
Yeah, and I think if you could batch create,
Mhm.
it's so much better. So
Right.
I try to do that on Sunday nights, but like if I miss a night of batching content, then I'm up kind of against the clock during the week, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to post? What am I going to post? And that's when it kind of becomes one of those things where like, you know what? I don't feel like posting right now. I'm not going
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay, but I'm still consistent. Like I'm not gonna like not show up, right? Like show up, but make sure it fits your lifestyle. Like yeah. And if it doesn't, hire someone to help you. Hire a
Yes.
VA. Yeah. That there's so many ways now to show up, and yeah, just don't stress yourself out, because then it's not fun. And
Right.
you really will burn out. Yeah.
Yes, you too. You can get burnt out from social media. Trust
Oh, of
me.
course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I quit Instagram. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I've literally felt like it was like a burden. And it was like post 5 times a day. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I post? It's like I was
Yeah.
like, this is not my life. Like, I'm not going to be a slave to an algorithm. Like, there's no way. I was like, this is the biggest distraction from my actual business.
Yes, it
That's
can be.
another
Yeah.
thing. Y'all need to. Okay, so let me just drop some like real business like knowledge. Like, if you are ignoring your clients, not getting client calls, not having conversations, your calendar's not booked, and then you're still in your just concerned about posting and posting and then coming up with viral content and and nothing else is happening, like something's off.
Yes.
So yeah, when I this was years ago, but I was trying to go at it on Instagram, I was like, no, this is taken away from my clients. And my clients pay me, right? So I'm like,
Yes.
I can't. That's why I love LinkedIn. I just post one time. I go on there and I network, and yeah,
Yeah.
my clients come first.
Yes, they do. And that is why it's important before you do anything, even as business owners, you have to know your why, your
Mhm.
purpose, and your why. And also goes back to an offer. You can be there posting on social media. What do you have to offer? And I think that's something that many of us are also struggle with
Mhm.
sometimes having the knowledge, having the expertise, but not creating that proper package and that offer to your clients. How do you help with that in terms of creating that package and a proper
Mhm.
offer for clients?
Yeah, so there are two things that I think about. I always think about how I work best, because I'm going to facilitate the offer.
Mhm.
So how do I work best? And then how do I like things delivered for myself? Like if I was the consumer, I think about that. And then I think about what are all the questions that my clients have asked and what's their biggest struggle. And then I create the offer around that. So, for example, I just rolled out a new offer yesterday with the workshop,
Yeah.
and it's a 5-day accelerator. And why I chose 5 days, I was like, should I do, I was thinking to myself, should I do 3 days? I've done 3 day workshops. It's not enough for people to actually implement stuff. And then I was like, well, 5 days is good, but I'm still gonna need a bonus day. So threw in a bonus day. But and the reason why I did 5 versus 30, and there's a reason, is because when you can block something and get it done quickly, you have a less chance of falling off.
Yeah.
Right. So if I stretch it, for the sake of people needing more time, they'll fall off, right? They're not as committed. So people want everything done now. So
Yeah.
when they're ready, an accelerator is to accelerate the process.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose a 5 day accelerator versus, a long, and we are going to do group coaching starting in August, and that you can be in there for as long as you want. But the accelerator is meant to like really kind of make your whole process on LinkedIn and your LinkedIn strategy take off. Like, you know what I mean? Like Elon Musk does. I'll send you fly into the sky with my LinkedIn accelerator. So y'all sign up, because I
Yes.
think we only have it 24 more hours. 24 more hours. We only have 24 more hours. We only have I have it up for 24 hours today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you guys can sign up for that. And I think when you have like the accelerator program, it gets people excited. Like 5 days, it's going to be power packed and you're going to get
Yeah.
everything in one time frame.
Yeah.
And that is good. And that's the importance of knowing how to package, how to sell, and also knowing what your clients want and offer something with them. Because sometimes you can actually be on social media just posting, keeping up with trends, but you're not having an offer. I know sometimes you may get caught up in likes, visibility, and persons following you. But what are you giving to them to make them come back for more and also turn that into sales? So that is very important too.
Yeah. And I'm even considering the time. Like with the
Yes.
accelerator, there's that time, because I did the workshop yesterday and I found that the morning session wasn't as busy as the evening session.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me something.
Yeah.
When is the best time zone? So you have to kind of look at what your clients are telling you. And
Right.
so I'm probably going to do the accelerator at night, like in the evenings.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are so many opportunities out there how you can, offer things to your clients. It doesn't have to be done like, physical. You can utilize online social media. And I remember in our previous live, you mentioned like stay on the ground, be consistent. There are other persons out there showing up doing other stuff, but have to have that presence, because the moment you don't show up, that's somebody else that is in your client space, and they may take that offer too. So that's very important too. So that brings him back with consistency and the importance of offers. Any questions you have for me, Claudia, as we head to wrap up?
No, I think we touched on a lot of things, and we chatted just like girlfriends do. And so
Yes.
hopefully y'all followed along, because girls, we like go from topic to topic, and we take twists and turns, and that's just how we chat. So I hope you guys enjoyed spending time with us, and yeah, and we will see you again soon. We'll do another series, maybe like in August.
Yeah.
July is a nice traveling month for us. So, but
Yeah.
I'll see you guys soon. And
Yes.
and we're posting weekly on our LinkedIn channel, so you guys will see us there.
Yes. And any final words that you have for the person right now who may have a business, on social media, trying to get things in order and just want to have that flow or that strategy towards getting clients? Final words for them.
Yeah, create a workflow. If you can't get a coach right now to help you with strategy, create a workflow. Go on ChatGPT, ask it to create you a workflow. It's not the same as obviously having a coach hold your hand and really kind of redirect in different areas, but you can start there. Just put in what you're doing, who your client is, put as much detail into the AI platform that you can, and then have it shoot you out a workflow, a client journey. And then, yeah, go from there. So we don't have an excuse anymore not to do good work, because
Yes.
we have AI to help us along the way.
Yeah, and it's really important to, creating a workflow. And if you're in a niche or area and there's somebody else doing the same thing as you can follow them and see what they're doing too.
Yeah.
That helps. And also getting a coach or a mentor to make
Yeah.
things move faster.
Yep.
So I definitely let us know in the chat if you have any questions. This is our last live. I know everybody soaks. It's very good though, because we soak up the information. It is good. So if you have any questions, how did you like the series? Did it help? And what ideas do you have for our next series that we may do? So I liked in the fact that you spoke about entrepreneurship, getting clients. And I think, especially for me being in healthcare, I think many of my coworkers and colleagues want to branch out but don't know how to. But if you watch this live for the past 4 weeks, I think you got at least 60% of what you need to do to start and to learn how to package yourself, because we have it, we have a degree. I recently spoke to a nurse and she said she wanted to know the cheat code, the blueprint. I said, go back to that degree and look at all the skills that you have and see which one you can use to monetize and get clients.
Yeah. Make sure that you like what you're going to pick.
Yes.
Because otherwise, if you don't like what you pick, it's not going to stick.
Yes.
There you go.
I like that.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys soon. Maybe next time we could do a series on like what type of businesses they can actually start.
Yes.
I've started a lot of them. So.
Yes.
So yeah, we can talk about that next time.
Yes.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yeah, and happy 4th of July for those of you that are celebrating. Take care. Bye.
Bye.